Are live. What's going on, everyone? Thank you all so very much for tuning in. Everyone that's here at this time, I greatly appreciate it. Anybody that's watching this on the replay, thank you so much. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel. Well, that's not how we wanted to start. Starting the season 0-1. I know a lot of people are going to freak out and act like the Lakers suck and this is the worst season ever. And luckily, you don't lose the season on one game. I mean, this game was simple. One team hit shots, the other team did it. Denver's offense, they were getting more efficient looks. They were hitting bigger shots. I mean, how many times did, Lakers go on a run this game? Jokic hit some crazy dagger that just stopped the run. Or Jamal Murray hit some crazy dagger that stops the run. These guys love to play the Lakers. Every time that we play them, they show up. It just boiled down. I mean, like Rui, Reeves even. D'Lo was rough to start. He picked it up towards the second half. Anthony Davis went scoreless in the second half? Like, he's supposed to be our best player. He's supposed to be the guy that is supposed to lead the charge this year. I mean, LeBron looked great, which is a good sign. Taurean Prince was fantastic. It's just one team looked like a team. The other team looked like three guys. Basically what it was. I don't know if it was just, I kind of chalk it up to just the first game, right? Nobody really showed up. We had some nice moments and nice runs. There was a couple times where it looked like, here we go, coming back, the fake comebacks. It's what it looked like. We just couldn't get over that hump every time. We just couldn't. You got to credit Denver, right? They did what they needed to do. Every time that we started to make that push, boom, they hit a big shot or, create a big turnover or something along those lines. It was rough. But nonetheless, kind of just go over the box scores for those that ain't watched the game. Taurean Prince was 6 of 8 from the field, 4 of 6 from 3, 18 points. Again, he was one of the only guys that showed up. 3 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 block. He was fantastic, in my opinion. LeBron James, 10 of 16 from the field, 21 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists. He played just under 30 minutes. Anthony Davis, 34 points. He had 17 points, in which all 17 he had at halftime. He was looking great. He was looking dominant. He was being aggressive. He was doing everything we needed him to do, and then he just disappeared in the second half, which is just inexcusable. We can't have that, man. Can't have that. You're supposed to be our best player, and you just completely disappeared in the second half. And multiple times we were right there in game, right there in this game. Like that, when we cut it to 4, right, or that time that we cut it to 3, like that's the time for Anthony Davis to, all right, give me the ball. Let me go to work. Let me go get us this W. Let me go get this lead. Let's start tracking that way. It didn't happen. Reeves was 4 of 11 from the field, 14 points. D'Lo was 4 of 12 from the field, 11 points. Like I said, D'Lo was rough to start the game, kind of picked it up towards the second half. He had 7 assists, though. Reeves had 4 assists. AD had 4 assists. LeBron had 5 assists. But outside of that, Rui, 3 of 10, was non-existent. Gabe Vincent, 3 of 8. Cam Reddish, he actually was pretty solid. I really liked him defensively tonight. I thought he was great defensively. Offensively, he took 4 shots, made 2 of the 4, so he shot 50% from the field with 7 points. But we're not expecting him to be some big offensive threat. I just really liked him as a point of attack defender. I thought he did a nice job holding his own on the defensive side. Also, I got to give D'Lo some credit on the defensive end. Offensively, he was just struggled, as did everyone else. Although, he did shoot 40% from 3. So that was good. But still, he just he wasn't himself, especially early on. But defensively, he was very good defensively, which is a good sign going forward, right? You want to see that defensive production from D'Lo. His offense, you'd imagine, will come. Whatever it is about Denver, Denver's in his head right now. He's got to get out of it. He's got to climb that mountain, got to climb that hurdle. But anyway, again, appreciate y'all being here. Let's dive into the chat, and we'll knock this out. Ugly night for Rui as it stands. If he scores like 16 points, would it have made a difference? If he scored 16 points, it absolutely would have made a difference. Yeah, absolutely. Unfortunately, it is what it is. That's how it goes. Some guys, like I said, this game boiled down to one team hitting shots, the other team didn't. To me, it was that simple. one team hit shots, the other team did not. I think I heard the Nuggets crowd chanting, "Who's your daddy?" I don't blame them. I would too if I was them. Right? I mean, the Lakers got smacked. This game is on. AD scored the second half. Agreed. Can't have that happen. Why did we get rid of Pope? I wish we had a time machine. Set everything right. Pope did not play like that when he was with the Lakers. He did not. Like, I like Pope. Pope was solid for us. Don't get me wrong, but this is a different type of Pope. He looks different. First game of the season. New roast will take time to gel. Denver is not a better team, but they have better team play. Yeah, exactly. Lakers players played an average game tonight. Standout guy, Prince, he is ready. Agreed. Prince really stood out. Yeah, like I said, it just kind of boiled down to, like I said, one team hit shots, the other team didn't. No. Sorry, but this loss ain't on nobody but AD. Yeah, I can understand blaming AD. AD, that's inexcusable. Exact replay of the West Conference Finals. Lakers can never totally get back because Denver's shot making answers every time. Plus, had some old AD scoreless in the second half. About time to admit AD and LeBron are not as good. I mean, I think AD and LeBron are a good pairing. It's just AD's not. He's just not the number one guy. And the problem is we don't have that LeBron James who can just completely control, dictate, and dominate games like he once could, right? Like if we could, if LeBron was 5 years younger, I wouldn't worry about AD because, LeBron in these moments where AD has these rough patches, he's going to be on the ball so heavily. He's going to be able to just control and dictate games. He's going to be able to kind of keep everything in line, everything in order. You just don't have that. He can only turn it on in like doses. But Lakers played trash. LeBron and Prince are only players that showed up. So disappointed. Agree. That's what it did. Bottom line, the Lakers are still in the playoff mix. Absolutely. Like, I'm still fine. Like, again, it can't get too high with the highs, can't get too low with the lows. I've talked about this, and I will talk about this a lot. I know some people already think the Lakers are eliminated from playoff contention because they lost the first game of the season. Lakers haven't won the first game of the season in the last, 5 years? Even the year that they won in the bubble, they lost the first game of the season. So it happens. Obviously, I wanted to win this game. I wanted to, kind of right the ship a little bit here. And unfortunately, we just didn't do it. But again, it is still young. It sucks. AD will never be a top 5 player in the league. I mean, not playing this way, he won't. I agree with you. It's air. Denver will realize that the Lakers are daddy when they realize that spanking them before the playoffs. Also have won 17 chips. Yeah, like I said, we'll be fine. It'll be all right. Woo! Man, guys, it hurts to lose. It does. Absolutely. How do you feel about starting both Prince and Vando when he comes back? I wouldn't mind it, but who does he start over? I mean, if D'Lo continues to struggle, yes. The thing is, though, I don't think D'Lo will. I just think D'Lo, for whatever reason, Denver's in his head. I think that's what it is. I was hoping, and I even talked about this and made a video about it. I was hoping that Bruce Brown not being on Denver, because he was the one that was really busting up D'Lo, that might have kind of helped him a little bit, but it didn't. I mean, he picked it up in the second half, which is good. Hopefully that's, a precursor to where he could pick it back up. But man, he just, for whatever reason, he can't show up against Denver. We have 2 stars, but AD did not show in the second half. Agreed. Hammond's bad. Why do people leave such silly, ignorant comments? Like, what was Darvin Ham supposed to do in this game? When nobody but a role guy in Taurean Prince and LeBron James showed up. Is it Darvin Ham's fault that Anthony Davis went scoreless in the second half? Is it Darvin Ham's fault that Austin Reeves shot, 4 of 11? That D'Lo shot 3 of 11 or 4 or 12 or whatever, right? Like, all of that's Darvin Ham's fault, right? It's Darvin Ham's fault that when he put other rotation guys in, they were basically no-shows, that Gabe Vincent was turning the ball over like he had never played basketball. Like, all of that is Darvin Ham's fault, right? There's such ignorance. It's so silly to me. I'll never understand it. Never understand why people blame the coach solely. When do you blame the players? When do you hold Anthony Davis accountable? Like, when? But no, let's blame the coach because we don't understand how basketball works. Like it's just so ignorant. It's so silly. Uh, let's see. Oh, for AD in the second half is crazy. Agreed. Great. It's just inexcusable. It's inexcusable. He did. That can't happen. Again, this is on him. Lakers do not need a new coach. Again, another silly, ignorant comment. It's not the coach's fault. Anthony Davis was a no-show in the second half. What was he's supposed to just sit Anthony Davis the whole game and do what? Go with Jackson Hayes? Because yeah, Jackson Hayes is going to give you 30 points, right? Stop. Darvin should dominate inside more. Or Davis, sorry. Davis should dominate inside more. He can't play with Jokic always. Jokic always dominates him. Poor AD trash. I mean, he was in the first half. AD looked fantastic. But, look, another ignorant comment. It's crazy to me. Say I'm overreacting all you want. I'm done with AD if he proves me wrong. Great. I mean, it's tough. AD wears down against the big centers. But the problem is he's best at the center spot. Yeah, AD was rough. He subbed LeBron out on the fourth only to be down four. It's the first game of the season. And yes, of course, LeBron is on managing minutes. He's in year 21, age 39. I know it's hard to comprehend that. It's the first game of the season. You're right. We're supposed to just wear him out and blow him out in the first 5 games of the season. You're right. There's a reason head coaches get paid millions of dollars. My advice for everyone: don't get emotionally invested right now. It is still preventable. The Lakers will not make it for at all. Don't get too invested. We will not make it far at all because of one game. Right. Exactly. Thank you. It's just so silly. It's so funny to be seeing like Laker fans. Like the Lakers Lakers started 2-10 last year and we're in the conference finals. And people are already acting like the Lakers are worse this year because they lost one game to Denver, who are the defending champions on ring night in Denver. It's just so silly. Like I'll never understand it. I just won't. I've done this long enough that you think like there's enough people that aren't just like overly emotional, but it just seems to be the case. It's just funny to me. Still not good enough. So I had D'Lo shaking hands after the game. Freaking week. Rui was trash. At AD was complete no-show. Nuggets in 4 again. I don't mind D'Lo shaking hands after the game. I mean that's just called sportsmanship. But everything else, yeah, looks like the same team from last year. I wouldn't say they look like the same team. There was a lot of goods in this game, but key guys need to step up. He did not. That is inexcusable. Let's see. We don't use AD properly. I mean, I don't know how else you're supposed to use AD. Comes out like that. Agreed. I thought Rui was going to look like almost an all-star this year. All the hype from offseason, but so far, including preseason, he doesn't look any better, maybe worse if you talk about the playoffs. I mean, but that's been Rui's problem since his whole career. He's really good in the playoffs. He shows up and looks fantastic in the playoffs. But during the regular season, he just can't translate it. And I don't know why. I don't know what the answer is. The coach did not have them prepared. Again, another ignorant comment. Another ignorant comment, right? Because again, it's Darvin Ham's job to make sure Anthony Davis. It's so silly. Somehow AD gets worse every year instead of better. I wouldn't say worse, but yeah. Let's see. I'm not worried about Rui, AR, Gabe, Cam Wood, etc. We need AD to be a star every single night. Agreed. It's just the consistency. Now, like, there's no reason Anthony, like, this game is on AD. AD needs to show up. Needs to show up. Hang on one second. Sorry, kids. But yeah, I'm with you. Anthony Davis, he needs to step up. That's inexcusable. Inexcusable. Me and AD scored the same amount of points in the second half. Facts. Again, that's inexcusable. But let's blame Darvin Ham, right? It's Darvin Ham's fault. It's just so silly. It's just so silly to me that we blame the head coach. I wouldn't say that. Again, we got the shots. We got the looks. Guys just didn't hit shots inside, but we had a good spot. and it was the rain night and the defending champs. We'll see it 3 more times. It's only one game, but refs were abysmal. Refs were atrocious. Refs were God. I mean, especially LeBron. How can LeBron not get a call to save his life? Like, how come every time Jamal Murray even gets blown on, he gets a foul call? But LeBron gets clobbered in the face, and that guy cannot get. I understand LeBron is huge and just so big, and it's like the Shaq treatment. But still, it's like, come on, I'm not saying you have to call a foul every time he drives to the hoop. But it's like, come on, at least call the obvious and clear ones, right? Like, it's crazy to me when he's available, if he becomes available. Doesn't play good under pressure. See, somehow LeBron is still the best player on the team. It is sad. I don't like. Again, this is supposed to be '80s year, '80s team, and it just didn't show up. Didn't show up, which is unfortunate. Prince off the bench with Rui, Gabe, Cam. Yeah, I wouldn't mind that. I don't know. I mean, if Prince keeps playing the way he's playing, I think you have to keep him in the start. Like, I would, like, even if Vando's ready next game, like, I might keep him in the starting unit, right? Like, if he keeps shooting like that, I'm not expecting him to score 18 a game, but like, if he can just consistently hit shots, like, it'd be tough. It'd be really tough. Prince was cooking. I'm sorry, but why would we go into the season thinking AD can match up with Joker? Because who else do we have to match up with Joker? I feel like Cam is gonna come into his own with us. Everybody that leaves gets better the next team. Yeah, facts. But Cam is Cam. I really liked what I saw from Cam Reddish defensively. He was really good on the defensive side. Vincent wasn't unimpressive. I felt like Vincent was trying to do too much. As far as Cam Reddish, I mean, because he's bigger and defensively, he was fantastic. He was great. He had some great sequences on Jamal Murray. I think we clearly see Prince needs minutes with Braun. Agreed. I think you got to keep them on the court because they work well together. Yeah, Reddish is bigger. AD was non-existent in the second half. Literally non-existent. Biggest positives and biggest negatives. Biggest positives is I believe if we started hitting shots, like, and as poor as we played, we still were in that game numerous times. We had a chance to basically take over that game numerous times, which is a good sign. It's just us putting it together. Biggest negatives is the biggest negative is Anthony Davis disappearing in the second half. I mean, 0 points in the second half is inexcusable. That's my biggest negative. Like, this is a big game, start of the season. You know, this is your moment. All the trash talk, everything, and one team backed it up, one team didn't. 2 stars backed it up for one team, only 1 star backed it up for the other. So my biggest negative personally is it's just Anthony Davis being a no-show. But biggest positives was even with AD being a no-show in the second half, even with as poorly as we shot the basketball, even with just like, you know, Denver shooting the lights out and Jamal Murray and Jokic looking like, you know, prime Jordans, we still had opportunities to win that game, or at least, you know, regain control of that game. That's something good that I like to see. I even said that in the watch along stream. I was like, you know, Reeves, when he missed one of the free throws, I was like, that tells you everything you need to know about this game tonight. Was how Christie didn't play at all. Cam Reddish was playing well. Like, I didn't mind that. Like, I don't think, like, Christie wasn't changing that game. Like, Max Christie wasn't. It's not like Max Christie was like, man, if the Lakers played Max Christie, the Lakers would have won. Like, nah. It was Prince for sure and Cam Reddish defense. Yeah, Cam Reddish defense on. 80 was like a -19, yeah. Something like that. They should play 80 at power forward more than center. I mean, against Jokic, he's our best bet. Like, who else are we putting against Jokic? Christian Wood's too small, and Jackson Hayes. I mean, AD was getting abused. You think Jackson Hayes, who's like half his size, is going to be able to abuse him? I feel like Lakers can beat any team except the Clippers and the Nuggets. For some reason, those 2 teams live in Lakers' head rent free. Well, I mean, we'll see how the Clippers go. All right, Clippers have had our number the last few years, but we'll see this year. So far, Denver's proven that. Like, Denver seems to have our number. But again, it's the first game. The starting guards got totally outclassed. D'Lo was expected, but damn, Reeves had a poor offensive night too. Good rebounding though. Yeah, they didn't show up. Took a nap and missed the whole game. Good. Good. I just got off of work. Can you give me a summary of what happened? Did Denver still find a way to dominate? Basically, Lakers, Denver. They started. Denver went on a crazy run. They were up like 19. Lakers were playing catch up the whole time. Nobody could buy a bucket except for like Prince, AD, and LeBron early on. Then second half started. Lakers looked like they were about to come back and take over the lead. They pushed it to 4 and 3 a couple times throughout the course of the game, but every time, like we looked like, okay, this is it. This is our moment to strike. Denver hit a big shot. Whether it was Murray, whether it was Jokic, they just hit the shot that changed the tide, and we just couldn't hit shots. Again, this game is simply summarized down to one team hit shots, the other team didn't, and Anthony Davis just didn't show up in the second half, which is inexcusable. Yeah, AD getting outclassed. I was one of the people who didn't want to include Rui in whatever trade we make. But if he keeps playing like this, we might have to be. I mean, it depends on what the trade is, but yeah. This was not a good game. But again, like the music promoter said, it's just one game. People got to calm down. Exactly. It's a long season. Luckily, a season, you don't get eliminated from the playoffs because of one game. I mean, they just won the NBA championship. What do you expect? Been a long time, Kep. Hope been a good offseason. We'll be all right. Would like to see Max next game. Trevor, appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. And yeah, it has. It's been a great offseason. We just got to start putting it together. Look, I'm not worried. It's the first game of the season. I went through this all season last year with everybody. Everyone, oh, you're delusional, you're this, you're that. And we were in the conference finals. Obviously, we didn't win the NBA championship, but we were in the conference finals. Like, people need to let things play out, right? All of the silly, just ignorant comments to me, I'll never understand, but I understand that that's part of how this works. It comes with territory. People are just, majority of people are casuals, and they're going off of their emotions rather than understanding how it actually works. I get it. I understand it, but it's frustrating sometimes. Like, come on, man. You don't lose a season on one game. Okay, everyone. Until next game. Yes, facts. LeBron didn't need managed minutes. Of course he does. He's in year 21, age 39, and it's the first game of the season. Of course he does. It's called As It Stands, but sits the whole time. That's funny. That was a good one. I like that. Honestly, I saw last year's Lakers and not this year's Lakers some problems of shot making and not closing the gap. I don't want Mike to be my stepdad. I feel it. I don't want him to be our stepdad either. Yeah, I mean it looked like a lot of the same problems. Just us not hitting shots. What it boiled down to. But I'm not gonna just say, oh well, that's it. It's another 2-10 season because the Lakers lost one game. We got to play Phoenix now. We're at first game in LA. We got to go get that win. Start the season 1-1. We'll see. See how it goes. Again, you don't lose on one season or one game. Pause. Mark my words. Let the Lakers get some regular season games under the belt. I promise you, we're going to be steamrolling the whole league. I'm with you, Dan the man. I am with you. Like I said, I don't believe one game dictates everything. The Lakers had plenty of open threes. Like Austin Reeves had like 3 of them. D'Lo had like 2 or 3 of them. He didn't hit them. We were getting open looks. Cam missed a wide open one. Like we were getting open looks. Guys just couldn't hit shots. We were running in and out. Like guys just weren't hitting shots. Prince was the only reason we were in the game. Well, him and LeBron, but yeah. They were in Denver. The altitude is different. That matters. You only win in there if you have an off night. Like for real, that's a tough gym to play in. I've played in gyms like that, and it matters. Yeah, there's a big conversation, argument about do they have the biggest home court in the league? Who's going to score for guards on the bench? AD can't be the number one guy. Playing this way, he can't. Let's see. But they wasted them. We thought we could match up with Joker because we got in the playoffs and suppose motivated to beat them. Class 80. Yeah, I mean, it came down to again, 80 just he didn't show up. So are Lakers just gonna play Christie against the bad team? I mean, again, Cam Reddish was fine. Like would I have liked to see Max Christie? Sure, but like Max Christie wasn't the difference here. If Max, if they didn't play, Rui or something, I would have been like, he could have made the difference. But Max Christie, like, how much difference is he making? Who really can check Jokic, honestly, other than maybe Giannis? You have to play different defenses with him. Oh, and maybe Embiid. Yeah. I mean, he's arguably the best player in the league for a reason. Hey, Tyler, can you talk about the reports are saying Bradley Beal aims to return on Thursday to play the Lakers because, of course, man, being a Laker fan, you're really stressed with that. Of course, they ain't missing the Lakers game. No one ever, every time somebody's hurt or injured, what happens? Boom. They come and they return and they show up against the Lakers. Every time. I mean, you can set your watch to it. Whenever somebody's out, you know that they're going to come back for the Lakers, unless it's something like crazy, like, the guy has like a broken leg or something. And even then, they'd probably try to come back. Just how it works. It's crazy. Let's see. Just admit the backcourt sucks. Backcourt doesn't suck. This first game, we'll take this on the chin. Exactly. Take it on the chin, move on, go to the next one. I actually like Cam. I thought Cam was fine. Why are we casuals? Truth, homie. Blaming the head coach for a loss where Anthony Davis just completely disappeared is not truth, homie. God. It's lack of ignorance. Or it's ignorance. Game's over, and I'm still trying to find AD facts. AD left the game in half. I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine. Someone tell the Nuggets catch up to 17. Yeah. Let's see. Snorlax, what's going on? I hate my wife. That was funny. AD doesn't want to be the main guy, so LeBron has to bail him out, like how JB bails out Jason Tatum. Yeah, it's basically how it's going. Let's see. In all seriousness, TP actually really moves me. Obviously, I don't expect him to shoot that well from three every game, but he looked good, man. Yeah, he looks really good. I think he's going to have a real impact. Only Prince, Reddish, Wood playing good. Yeah, Wood was pretty. I like that Wood was aggressive, kept his head down. Honestly, AD is going to play 65 games and still miss All-Star due to inconsistency. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. They need to get Jokic out of rhythm. Need to find a way. I mean, every team's tried to do that, and no team has been able to. That's why they won the chip. Schroeder was better than Vincent. I mean, Schroeder's upside, I talked about it all season. Schroeder's upside is much better than Vincent's, but Vincent's going to be more consistent this season. Thoughts on Rui? He had a terrible game. I mean, he couldn't buy a bucket, man. The guy just couldn't hit a shot. It happens. Hopefully he bounces back. Because we need him. We need him to be an offense threat. Like, I'm expecting him to be in the conversation for Sixth Man of the Year, but that ain't happening. I mean, he's unplayable if he plays like that. I mean, so I'm not going to get too low on Rui yet. His first game of the season, we'll see how he bounces back. But a big concern, and I've talked about it this offseason, is that Rui has been great in the playoffs and just not the same guy in the regular season. I'm hoping that is not the case. All of AR, Gabe, D'Lo, and Rui didn't play well today. I'm still not worried about any of them, but they should have played better today, not going to lie. Yeah, and not to mention Anthony Davis going scoreless in the fourth quarter. In the whole second half, not just the fourth quarter. He didn't play like this for the Lakers. Let's see. Trade D'Lo now. Trade AD now. Fire him. This overreacting is so stupid. D'Lo had 12 points and 5 assists and hit 2 threes to close the gap. AD had a bad game. Sure, but he'll recover. Yeah, exactly. Look, I have no problem. Again, I have no problems with people criticizing or being upset or whatever. Like if like I believe AD should be called out. Absolutely. That's inexcusable. Him going and putting on the display and going scoreless in the second half, that's inexcusable. We can't have that. But yeah, I'm not like, oh, we need to trade AD. Like, oh no, nothing like that. But there are definitely concerns about him being the number one option, right? He's had this issue to display this. But it's I get it's frustrating. I understand people react emotionally, but again, it's one game. Like again, it's not Darvin. Like my thing is like people always want to find one person to blame, and it tends to be the head coach, right? It's like why the head coach only has so much control, right? The head coach can't control AD going scoreless in the half. Like, um, I don't think I think big games and stressful situations are going to be a thing to really pay attention to. Let's get these guys comfortable with being uncomfortable, and I think that'll come like repetition. They just need to play. They just need to get some games under the belt. Uh, yeah, exactly. KCP will go back to being average every game. It is only one game, but again, people will react. Um, I don't mind to be in the starting lineup. Not very serviceable defensively. Vando would have to make a very good case to be a starter. Yeah, unless Vando shoots like 36% from three this season. I don't know. I think you got to go with Prince. He looks good. 80 sold the game. Yeah, definitely. Very intense game it was. There was several times where it looked like, man, we're right there. Just couldn't come over them. Let's see. When D'Lo doesn't shoot the lights out and get 20 and 5 assists, people trash him. But when Rubio plays bad, nobody wants to talk about. Yeah, I mean, again, people want to find that scapegoat. People want to find that person that they can blame. That's what it boils down to. At the end of the day, that's exactly what it boils down to. Everyone needs to find and pinpoint one person rather than looking at it as like, oh, as a team, we played terrible, right? Like, as like nobody did their part, right? Like, Denver did theirs, Lakers did it. But no, it always has to be one person, one individual. That's the thing I don't really get. But Red Pill, thank you so much. Seriously, thank you, Christian. Thank you so much for the $10 super chat. We need a trade. We need a trade. We aren't explosive enough. Also, Denver is just bigger than us. We need consistent second to LeBron. I'm tired of we need consistency if we're talking championships. I mean, look, we definitely need consistency. Like, that is without a doubt, right? Like, again, Denver is that one constant, right? Denver, they play their game, they stick to their game. You can always count on them to play their game. When they lose, it's usually they just have a bad game, right? They're that good. But like, I don't think, again, it's one game. I don't think we necessarily need a trade. Explosiveness, like if we hit shots, we're explosive, right? I mean, when all of our guys, like literally nobody except for Torian Prince could hit an outside shot, right? Like, it's just how can you be explosive when that happens, right? Like, Denver isn't crazy explosive unless they're hitting shots, right? Like, we just need to be hitting shots. Again, like, to me, this game boiled down to one team executed and hit shots, the other team didn't. And our star just completely disappearing. Like, I do. It is frustrating that LeBron in year 21, age 39, or he's going to be 39. It still is far and away our best player. When Anthony Davis, we know, can just be great. Like, if he would have played like he did in the first half, in the second half, and we lost, I would have been like, there's the AD we need, right? At least AD was great. But he just did it. He just completely disappeared. Like, we can't have that. Like, to me, that's inexcusable. To me, that is completely inexcusable. He did hit 1-3, which is good. But where were we in the chat? Here we go. No way he scores 17 and haven't finishes with 17. I'm with you. I am absolutely with you. We did really good. We just weren't gonna beat them on banner night. Yeah. I mean, we should have. I think we should have. If guys would have stepped up, but I don't think we should trade AD. Like, AD is still a ridiculous talent. It's just the consistency on the offensive side of the ball. Yeah, absolutely. Playoff style. Lakers basketball is back when people are saying the season is over after one regular season loss. Yeah, exactly. It drives me crazy. Like it's not like it wouldn't drive me as crazy if it was just like a random person here and there, but it's just like so many people. Like earlier we had like 2 times the amount that we have right now, and like all of them were just like, oh, like it's over, Lakers suck, blah blah blah. Like fire the coach, trade him. It's just like, man, yeah, it's how you lose. Exactly. You win some, you lose some. It's part of the game, but yeah, these kind of things are. I think we turn the ball over too much. Yeah, doing a better job taking care of the basketball. Everyone that didn't sign an extension, bad money spent. Yeah, they didn't show up. I mean, I wouldn't say bad money spent yet. It's one game, but yeah. Um, let's see. AR got to play much better. I mean, everyone does, But yeah, I mean, I expect guys to turn it back around, but it's just it was rough. Nugs led the entire game. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I think Lakers had like a brief lead early on, but yeah, pretty much almost start to finish. The rebounding will be better. Yeah, hopefully. That was a trend all off or all preseason too. D'Lo looked especially uncomfortable out there. To be honest, I wonder if it's against the same team he had his worst series as the Lakers had anything to do with it. That's kind of my thought. Like for whatever reason, it looks like, and I don't know this for certain, but it just appears to me that that the Nuggets are in D'Lo's head, right? Like that he got basically embarrassed in the NBA the conference finals, and for whatever reason, it's in his head. I was hoping because Bruce Brown wasn't there, and Bruce Brown was kind of the one that was talking and publicly just like humiliating D'Lo, and I was hoping D'Lo would kind of snap out of it, but I mean he was much better in the second half. Like he was great in the second half, but defensively he was fantastic. Like D'Lo was getting after it on the defensive end. It's just his offense. Will that translate? I don't think D'Lo's got to go now yet. I expect D'Lo to be better throughout the season, though. I do too. Unfortunately, the Nuggets do own the Lakers. They do right now, yeah. LeBron, year 21, still the most physical player on the team, yeah, which shouldn't be happening. As one game, D'Lo shoot 50-40 from the field next game. I bet you also would show up. Yeah. Again, I don't think D'Lo needs to be traded yet. But for whatever reason, yeah, like Human said, Denver seems to be D'Lo's kryptonite. Like he just seems to be having a rough time. +7 on the floor, -14 off year 21. Got to say something about the GM. About the GM or the game? Yeah, I mean the game, yeah. Candidate, in my opinion, yeah, he was fantastic. Was disappointing. Yeah, agreed. D'Angelo Russell can't play a big game. I mean, he can play a big game. He single-handedly won a game in the Warriors series and a game in the Grizzlies series. So he can show up in big games, but it's just for whatever reason, Denver seems to have his number. Down for Jokic's 3. Yeah. That's how it goes. Should we have traded Rui and AR while value was high? I mean, no. Personally, I think they'll be fine. I feel like once we play them again, D'Lo will be fine. Yeah. Oh, I'm hoping. Vando also didn't play. I don't know if he would have been the difference between winning and losing, but it would have been interesting to see how it would have changed the game. I think he would have impacted the game a lot. I don't know if it would have been the difference of winning and losing, but it might have been a little closer, a little more hard fought. Because it just would have been another guy that you could have thrown. D'Lo was our second best player after LeBron. Why out trip? D'Lo was great in the second half. He was fantastic. Let's see. What's up, Tyler? Man, it feels good to be back, and an unfortunate loss tonight, but it's one game, not worried. Exactly, Cap. I'm with you. Classless for that because people called the Aces classless. Called the Aces classless after they just won the championship. Right? Narratives are funny. D'Lo to have that Kyrie mentality. That would be nice. That would absolutely be nice. Red Pill coming in out with another $5 super chat. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Did you see the plus minus with LeBron? We have the pieces to go big game hunting and the trade market. I promise I'm not overreacting. I mean, yeah, I saw the plus minus with and without LeBron. But I mean, a lot of that has to go with guys hitting shots, right? I mean, Lakers had a good plus when LeBron was in the game because LeBron was taking over in the stretches he was in, right? But guys still weren't hitting shots. So the problem is that like if guys start hitting shots, that'll change. We just gotta make shots, right? I mean, again, Denver, like we had several opportunities to be right there, right? Like I'm not gonna overreact over one game. Like I get, you feel like we need to do a trade. We need this. Like, what happens if the Lakers win the next 5? Right? Are you still gonna feel that way if like we dominate and guys are still hitting it? Like again, like let's let things play out, right? The trade deadline is still a ways away. I'm not gonna just assume that the Lakers, this is the game that we're gonna play every game the rest of the season. Like I don't. I just think, again, is AD really gonna go scoreless every second half? That makes a big difference, right? Is he gonna do that even in just big games? That's gonna make a difference. He's gonna have his games where he's bad. He's gonna have his games where he's good. Look, if a trade needs to happen, we do. We have the pieces. Absolutely. We have the pieces that are very tradable to go and make a big splash if somebody becomes available. And maybe the Lakers do that. But I'm not going to write them off of one game, Let's see. But again, thank you so much. I really appreciate Super Chat. All right, let's power through a couple more of these, and then I'm going to skate on out of here. If you think D'Lo isn't the problem, you're blind. The Nuggets are in your conference, and he repeatedly shows he can't step up against them. What are you going to wait until they eliminate y'all to see? Okay, so again, what about Anthony Davis? So where do you rank D'Lo? Is D'Lo our best player? Is he our second best player? Is he our third best player or fourth best player? Right? I thought Reeves was supposed to be the guy, right? So that would make D'Lo our fourth best player, right? How many fourth best players are guys that go and give you 17 points, 6 assists on 50, 40, 90? Because that's what he did last year for the Lakers, right? Again, like I get we all want to find somebody to blame. And look, D'Lo absolutely seems to be struggling. I don't know what it is. D'Lo just can't seem to be good. But what about the second half? What about the defense he played? He was great defensively. In the second half, he shot over 50%. He still shot 40% from 3. He was outside of Taurean Prince. He was still our best 3-point shooter, right? So again, like it's just people act like if D'Lo doesn't average 25 a game, then he's trash. Like he's the fourth option. Okay, let's call him the third option. Okay, he's the third option. He still shouldn't be averaging that. Most third options average what? 15 a game? No, like so again, like as long as he's averaging that, then he's doing his part. And D'Lo gave you 11 and 7 rebounds or 7 assists. He gave you 4 rebounds, 1 steal, and only 3 turnovers. So he had a better than 2-for-1 assist turnover ratio. I don't know about you, but that's pretty good stats. Won't be on the Lakers at the trade deadline. I mean, that's very possible, sure. Wish Russell could bring some offensive impact. I mean, he did in the second half. Like I said, he was terrible in the first half, but second half, he was one of our best players. They're chanting daddy in the Nuggets locker room. Just don't want a period. Yeah, I mean, it's just inexcusable in my opinion. Inexcusable. Anytime LeBron leaves the floor, other teams up their energy. Yeah, because they know, like, hey, Tyler, you get it, but get off D'Lo's terrible. I've been saying it. He does not have the speed to keep up with the NBA. He's terrible. I mean, lots of players don't have the speed in the great. I mean, James Harden doesn't have the speed, and he's one of the best players ever. I'm not saying D'Lo is James Harden, but again, he literally was our second leading scorer in the second half. Like he had 7 assists. He was a playmaker. He was doing fine. Defensively, he was great. And people want him to be the number 1 option. He's not the number 1 option. Right? We're holding D'Angelo Russell as if he's the best player on the Lakers. Why aren't you criticizing Anthony Davis, who it's supposed to be his team? Like LeBron said publicly, this is his team. Why is it D'Lo's fault? Why? When D'Lo had almost as many points as Anthony Davis. It's just, yeah, again. I feel like D'Lo is kind of disappointing in his performance tonight. He probably kicking himself as it stats. I mean, yeah, like I said, he wasn't great, but people acting like he was just utter trash. He was great defensively. He was great at playmaking. Again, he gave you 7 assists, and that's just the passes that he was able to achieve. He really picked it up offensively in the second half. But again, like where does he rank for you? Is he the third best player, the fourth best player, the second best player, the first best player? Because if you're gonna blame him, right, and it's solely him, it's not like everyone else showed up and he didn't. Like we got to be better than they was tonight, especially the bench. Rudy Gabe Wood got to step up, understand that they huge role now do in AD. Just a better 0 points. It's crazy. It's inexcusable. Again, it's inexcusable. Uh, I'm sorry, Tyler, but I'm losing hope if we face against in the Nuggets in the Western Conference Finals. We can't stop Jokic. We need a big body center, Tyler, that can push Jokic. I mean, we'll see. Again, it's a long season. You got to imagine we're only going to get better as the season progresses because guys are going to get more comfortable. Guys are going to be better out of sorts. Preseason warriors are now regular season warriors. Yeah, there were definitely some of those translations. Agreed. They exposed D'Lo AR combo defensively. AD needs slowing down, attacking the paint. Take page out of Jokic's book. Dude, give it up on D'Lo. It's the intangibles that he doesn't bring. What intangibles doesn't he bring? Please enlighten me. Revenge game, more like Revenge of the Nerds. Yet it was rough. AD should go stand in the corner of the locker room for 5 minutes and think about what he did. EFX. Scapegoating D'Lo. Thank you. It's literally that's all it is. It's just scapegoating D'Lo. Dude, Anthony Davis scored 0 points. If anybody thinks we lost this game because of D'Angelo Russell, I don't know what you can't. There's no way. There is no way. No way. Your best player, or what is supposed to be your best player, gave you a goose egg. D'Angelo Russell actually showed up in the second half. Where was AD? If you're going to blame anybody, blame Anthony Davis. Right? It's like, God, it's just people. You said it perfect. People want to find a scapegoat. It has to be D'Lo. It's because of D'Lo. Reeves is supposed to be him, right? Isn't Reeves him? He was just killing it. All I've talked about all offseason is how Reeves is this and he's that. And man, he's going to be the third best player. And man, I could see him being an all-star. I was like, what about him? How come no one's criticizing him? Why isn't it his fault? Right? So if Reeves, if Reeves, AD, and LeBron are your 3 best players, you're blaming your 4th best player for giving you 11 and 7 and shooting 40% from 3. 40% from 3. And it's his fault. You're right. And he played good defense, right? But it's his fault, right? It's just so silly. So silly. They're in their heads. No one has said AR didn't play well either. No one across the board except LeBron and Torian. Yeah, exactly. See, I just reiterated what I said. Yeah, agreed. Like, where was Rui? Where was AR? Where was everybody? We didn't lose this game because D'Lo had a bad first half and really picked it up in the second half. Like, will we pull the trigger on the Harden trade now? I don't think so. Reddish was good today, by the way. I liked what I saw from Reddish. Rui did have a rough night. Harden be great for Lakers. I don't think so. I want to stay as far away from Harden as possible, but if they trade for him, I'll support him. Yeah, he'll be a Laker. D'Lo does lack speed. It's a little hard for him, just blow by players, but he's still tough in my opinion. Yeah, again, he's always been more James Harden than he has been Russell Westbrook. But again, we had a Russell Westbrook. How did that work? First shot was a bad omen for the season. I hope not for the season, but it was a bad omen for the game. Looked like he was rushing things. I don't know what's going on. I miss Rui, who was playing freely. Yeah, just bad shots. What team has D'Lo played for where he was consistent for the entire season, Tyler? I really don't know. He used to always play good against the Lakers. Brooklyn, he averaged 23 points and 6 assists. Like, that was his best stretch where he was at. He was pretty good for Golden State. He's not a number 1 guy, but when he was with the Brooklyn Nets, he was really good. Like, people were heavily criticizing the Lakers for trading D'Lo to the Brooklyn Nets because how well he played for the Nets. So, D'Lo plays at his own pace. He's a hell of a player. If you basketball, it's not just about speed. It's so slow. That's why he starts for Lakers top 8. Def fumbled the bag tonight. We were right there. Yeah, agreed. Thing is, AD had a bad game. D'Lo has a normal game. D'Lo doesn't even have the movement to be good guarding an elite team. Okay, so here. Okay, you said Anthony Davis had just a bad game. D'Lo had a normal game. Wasn't the conversation and narrative almost all season last season, including the playoffs, that Anthony Davis is inconsistent and just completely disappears? What did Anthony Davis do today? So wouldn't that be a normal game for Anthony Davis? D'Lo has consistently his entire career been a 17-6 guy, like clockwork. He did it for the Lakers. So couldn't you make the argument that this was just a bad game for D'Lo and a normal game for AD? When D'Lo, literally his entire career has been nearly game in and game out 17-6. I mean, go look game by game. Even with the Lakers, go look game by game. He averaged 17-6. Like, that's literally all he had. Like, that's what he does, in and out. Of course, he has games here and there throughout the season. Every player does. Anthony Davis, one game will have 25. Next game will have 11. And then the next game will have 42. The next game will be, like, that was a running narrative. So how can you say AD just had a bad game and D'Lo played a normal game when literally the last few years even the opposite has been proven? And look, I'm not saying trade AD or anything like that. AD is really good. He's still great. But let's not pretend like this game, again, was all on D'Lo. He made 2 threes, which is more than everybody. And not named Taurean Prince. So why are we overreacting like this is not 80 more games as the guy? I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine. This is usually how it goes. Let's see. D'Lo should have more dog in him. He's supposed to be the second best on this team. Supposed to be the second best on this team? I don't know if he's supposed to be the second best. Third best, I think you can make an argument. Would have thought Cam Reddish would have dropped 30 the way this channel goes. When have I ever said he was a great offensive player? What are you talking about? People forget that I've actually said the opposite countless times, that the one thing he needs to work on is his offense. Just defensively and his ability to get to basket. People forget that he had one of the most, or I think it might have been one of his most efficient years shooting last season with both the Wolves and the Lakers. I'm not really worried about him at all. It was. You're right. He had his most efficient shooting season of his career last year. Do you think it's a blessing in disguise getting smacked in the mouth game 1? Not necessarily. Right? Just because, like I usually lean towards those. Like let's say the Lakers started the season like 12-0, right? Like, and the Lakers, let's say, ran into Denver and got smacked. Then I'd be like, yeah, that was really good, right? Because you don't want to start like building that ego. You want to show that you're beatable, right? Like, but I don't know. First game of the season, you're in Denver on rain night, right? You got a new team. They don't. Like, it's just, I don't know. I don't really think that this was necessarily a blessing. I don't think it was like a curse. I just think it was a game where guys just didn't show up. Like, I don't think I'd say it was a blessing in disguise, personally. 17-6 in the regular season versus the elite contenders. D'Lo can't do a thing. Okay, I need you to define that for me. So is only the elite contender the Denver Nuggets? Is that the only elite contender? Because D'Lo had several games last year, including in the playoffs, the Memphis series and the Warriors series, where he went off and single-handedly won those games and saved us. So is Denver the only team that you consider elite? Because if you think any other team other than Denver is elite, then that statement's wrong. So, again, what is it? Either you're wrong by what you just said, or you only believe Denver is the only good team. Because D'Lo, again, smacked the Warriors, played great against the Grizzlies during the regular season, against the Suns, what was it, the Minnesota game, right? So, again, like, what teams to you are elite, what teams are? And even if you go back to when he was with Minnesota, he was great. Just trying to use D'Lo as a scapegoat. That's all it is. They are just trying to use D'Lo as a scapegoat. Tyler, these people don't know their basketball. It's just one game. Go Lakers Nation. Yeah, Lakers will be fun. I get it. I get it. It comes with territory. You just said D'Lo is not a number one guy, but he's your starting point guard. But you still don't understand why he will always come up short against superior teams. So because he's okay. So is Drew Holiday the number one guy on Boston? Is what is who I don't even know who the point guard is. I guess it's gonna be Bradley Beal. Is Bradley Beal who's supposed to be the starting point guard? Is he the number one option for the Suns? Right? Like, is Mike Conley the number one option for for the Warriors? Or not the Warriors? You get my point. The Grizzlies, the Timberwolves. There we go. Right? Is Russell Westbrook the number one option for the Clippers? Right? Because D'Lo is the starting point guard. He's the number one option. Is Chris Paul the number one option for the Warriors? I mean, I could keep going. Like, it's such a silly statement. Like, what are you talking about? Because he's the point guard, he's supposed to be the number one guy. What? And come up short against superior teams. What about this? What about the Warriors series? What about the Grizzlies series? When he single-handedly, like literally single-handed, dude. Did you watch the footage in the locker room after where Darvin Ham and LeBron and everybody was telling you thank you, and they gave him the game ball and said, like, you single-handedly just saved our season? Like, what are we talking? Like, again, what teams are? Is Denver the only team that is superior to you? If you only see Denver as a superior team, and Denver is it, like Denver's the only contending team in the league to you, then okay, I'll support your statement. But if you think the Suns, the Celtics, the Bucks, the whomever, if you think any other team in the league is as good or a superior type team, then your statement could not be more wrong. Could not be more wrong. What else? Hit that like button if you love wood. Yes. Pause. Wood looks good. Wood looks okay. Is he a vet? Yeah, I mean, he's 27. Exactly. It makes no sense. He really said it posted that on a live stream that because he's the point guard, he has to be the number one option. Like, oh my god. I hate his 3-point shot. If it's not on net, it's straight brick. Yeah. It's either hit or miss. I'm not mad at the game. I'm mad at the different moments because regardless of all this, Denver came to make shots tonight, literally. Yes, I agree. It really was. It was crazy. If Ham benched D'Lo after game 1 or game 2, we probably win the Western Conference Final. Okay, who would have replaced him and played better? Because let's go through it. Rui Hachimura played terrible that series, right? Lonnie Walker was completely unplayable that series. Who else? Dennis Schroeder was completely unplayable that series. He completely disappeared. Who's left? Like, who are they supposed to play? Was he supposed to go big with Mo Bamba? Oh, yeah, that's right. Mo Bamba was hurt. Was he supposed to go with Winning Gabriel or Tristan Thompson in the starting lineup? We win because of those two? Again, like, you're just saying stuff. Dude wasn't even good he wasn't good in either of the series. He had an elite game in game 6 versus Memphis. True, that's about it. You don't think D'Lo was good in those first two series? Okay, I don't know what to tell you then. There's nothing to say. If you really think D'Lo was trash in those first two series, sure. I mean, no one's been able to match Murray, right? That's why Murray's just been that guy. Let's see, Drew is a champion. That doesn't mean is Robert Horry is Robert Horry the best player to ever play the game because of how many rings he has? Just dude, you're not like do you hear yourself when you're leaving these comments? Are you thinking this through? Drew is great. I love Drew, but that's not what the question was. He said that D'Lo should be the best player because he's the point guard, and then he just followed that up with Drew is a champion. Like, so he's their best player. He's their number one option. Like, stop. Like, now you're just going out of where. Bradley was the number one option in Washington. Are you listening? Like, you're just commenting at this point. I appreciate the engagement, but now you're just like, you got to be trolling. There's no way you're leaving real comments. Man, KCP is such a good basketball player. I miss him for. He didn't play like this for the Lakers, though. Like, that's the problem. He's been, like, lights out, but he just can't do this. Beal didn't even play tonight. Again, is he on the Clippers? God. Yeah, and Beal was their best player, so still wrong. Exactly, thank you. And Beal didn't play point guard for Washington. He was the shooting guard. It's just, again, he's got to be trolling at this point. There's no way. He's no way. He was the number one option in Brooklyn. Again, casual. God, stop. Just stop. Please stop commenting. You're just digging. Like, man, you just went and got a bigger shovel. Man. Seriously, God, it's just he's trying to expose me, and all he's doing is just like digging and digging and digging. Man, you're gonna hit the other side of the world at this point. God, it's just people talking, man. Thank you. See, look, at least somebody else knows. He was the number one guy in Brooklyn, and he averaged 23 and a half points. Like, oh my God, it's so funny. I do know how long Vando is out for. We do not like definitively. Right now, it's currently day to day. So we'll see. Hopefully, he's in the next one. I'm a D'Lo simp. For speaking fact. Again, it's so funny that people will like tell me I'm this, that, and the other, but never say anything. Like, you always know when people are ignorant and do not understand the game of basketball, do not understand what they are talking about when they have to resort to, you are a D'Lo simp. It's so weird. When all I've literally given facts, I've broken down every single one of these people's arguments and proven it wrong. And all they do is this, oh, you're a D'Lo simp. It's so weird. Again, prove me wrong. I'm here. I'm on a live stream, right? Like, look it up. The information's available. Go look stuff up. You know, it's so funny that, you know, like, these people are so insecure. All you got to do is just like, oh, you're such a simp. It's weird. Like, again, prove me wrong. Tell me something I've been wrong about. Like, again, you just keep saying stuff. I get it. You don't know. You're a casual. It's fine. It's okay not everyone has to be a basketball savant. It's okay for some people to just enjoy the game casually in basketball. Like, that's totally okay. I'm okay with it. But why comment such ignorant, silly stuff? Why make yourself look so foolish on the internet? I will never understand it. I'll never get it. I didn't say he was trash versus Memphis and Golden State. He was just average to me. He was a liability a lot in that Warriors series. But you said he wasn't good. So again, like, so what is, like, again, you're being very vague, Electric. Look, you and me talk all the time, so I'm not worried about you. Like, I know you're being real, unlike some people. But again, like, they're being vague. Okay, what is average to you? Because if him shooting, 40% from three and averaging, what do you average? Like 14 and a half points or something like that is like average as the fourth option. because that Reeves had emerged at that point, and LeBron was really deferring to Reeves. Like, what more is he supposed to do? Like, how much better is he supposed to be? He's not the number one option. He's not the number two option. You can make an argument he's not even the number three option. Like, how good is D'Lo supposed to be? Like, when he's not the main guy, he's not getting 20 shot attempts per game, right? Like, D'Lo shot 12 shots. He shot 12 shots. All right, like, so let's say he made a half of them. And let's say 2 of those were threes. He would have had 15 points. He scored 11. So he would have had so he basically scored 4 points less than what he should have had on 12 shot attempts. If he shot like super efficient. Like, and I'm talking about like ridiculously efficient. Like more than he has been. Like, again, he's shooting 50, 40, 90. And like what more do you want from the guy? He's a D'Lo sip because he has comments. It's silly. I'm telling you, it's just so. No, it's not that. It's just they have no argument and they just have nothing better to do than troll. And plus I'm, taking the bait. I'm engaging. I'm talking into it. But it's just funny. Like it just blows my mind. It's just crazy. Like again, I understand. Like I'm totally okay. Like I don't expect everyone to be super knowledgeable about basketball. I don't expect everybody to know all the ins and outs. I don't expect everybody to know every player in their career. I don't but my thing is like, why comment on stuff that you have no clue what to comment about? Like, I wouldn't start talking about astrophysics or something like that because I'm not an expert. Like, I wouldn't just be like, oh, well, like this science is like, what are you talking about? Like, like you can always tell who has no clue what they're talking about just by their simple comment. And then it's like they have no answer. So the rebuttal is like, oh, you're clearly a D'Lo simp. It's weird. Like, no, you just don't know what you're talking about. Like, please prove me wrong. I'm wrong all the time. I would gladly somebody go, you're wrong. Here's the proof. I've literally given you statistics. I've given you facts. This is just off the top of my head. I haven't even looked anything up. Like, I'm sure if I look stuff up, I can just destroy this argument. But just off the top of my head, no one's giving me anything. They just keep blaming one person. Again, what about Anthony Davis, who didn't score 0 points in the entire second half, not just a quarter, the entire half? And he's supposed to be our best player. He's supposed to be the number one option. LeBron James said publicly in an interview, this is Anthony Davis's team. Where was he? But no, let's blame D'Angelo Russell. It's just so silly. It's so silly. Reddish was playing some really solid defense. Reddish was fantastic. I lined up with him, Vando together, proved problematic for other ball handlers. Agreed. Do you think D'Lo or Reeves would accept the role as a sixth man if we trade Gabe and Rui for Miles? I would love Miles Turner. Like I would. Like I think Miles Turner we need badly. Look, I've mentioned this before. Like I wouldn't mind if they brought Reeves off the bench. They probably won't because Reeves has been just that good and he plays so well with LeBron James. But I think Reeves would be huge off the bench. Like, just because of his playmaking, he can kind of be himself more like I do. Like, I mean, look at like guys like Manu Ginobili. Like, if Reeves would just accept that role, I think the Lakers would be so much better for it. Because then you could do something like a Prince. Like, you could have your starting five be D'Lo, Prince, Vando, LeBron, and AD. Like, that would be perfect. And then have Rui be your primary ball handler, or not Rui, Reeves be your primary ball handler off the bench. Everyone shoots the lights out against the Lakers. Facts. Rue has got to be trolling. Exactly. He's just D'Lo has 1 or 2 standout games in the playoffs, but completely sold in like 5 to 7 games. Is that worth it? The average is pretty mid. You're telling me the entire playoffs he only had 1 to 2 standout games? You're telling me the entirety of the playoffs, D'Lo was basically was terrible except for 2 games. Again, interesting. His whole vibe slows the whole team down because he's a better half-court offense guy, and you need that. Seriously, it's just People it's just talking. Uh, bro, I love your channel. I'm just being honest. D-Lo mid, bro, and he's holding y'all back. I appreciate you. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, look, I'm always open to having conversations. I'm totally okay if we disagree. If I didn't want to listen to what you had to say, I just would ignore it. But like, it's just some of the things, man. I don't get it. Like, what if D'Lo does average 20 points a game this year? Like, what he's gonna be mid? Like, again, I get he had a bad game, but it's just like, come on, man. He's not like you guys are acting like he's just some bum. Like, how many guys in the league are better than him as like the third or fourth option? Like, it's just, I don't know. It's just crazy. Every night, D'Lo is going to be on elite point guards, and he's going to show he's a dog or he's the dog food. It's what comes with the West, right? The trolls are so embarrassing. Y'all want us to just have an all-star team with the best player in every position. You're taking my little basketball. Yeah, exactly. Another terrible comment. Everyone is trolling. Exactly. Oh my god. I don't know if you talked about this uh, air, but we got no calls. Denver. I was getting everything. Oh no, I talked about it earlier, but yeah, you're spot on, dude. It was driving me crazy. Like absolutely ridiculous. Like the refs were terrible, man. How many times like it blows me away? LeBron cannot get a call to save his life. Cannot get a call to save his life. It's crazy to me. I don't know. I don't know. When Christian Wood didn't touch him, and Aaron Gordon alley hooped it when he touched the rim, yeah, it's crazy. Let's say the Lakers didn't force the Nuggets in the playoffs, didn't face the Nuggets in the playoffs. Would they have beaten KD in this? I think they would have beaten KD in this. I mean, look, the Lakers' problem was just they couldn't close down the stretch, and Jokic and Murray played like Murray had literally the best playoff series of any guard ever in the history. There's something like that. Like there's some like crazy, like just stats about Murray. But man, yes, thank you so much. If you haven't liked the video, hit that like button. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Still got a lot of games left, but yeah, exactly, Mario. It never fails. It never fails. But I am. Let's see. Uh, we can't blame D'Lo. It's not like he can guard Jokic. It's only one game, guys. Yeah, foul call as well. Yeah, yeah. Jokic, Denver, great, but the Lakers, but they look weaker. Yeah, I mean they definitely are because they don't have the depth that they had last year. Um, too much for him to accept 6-man rule. That's the only reason why I don't think he will. I just think for his confidence and how much they like it, like Lakers fate decided to one game. Yeah, right. Thanks. That's it. It's a wrap. Um, why did it take a whole quarter for Seawood to get in the game? Why weren't we using bigs against one of the tallest teams in the league? They put Seawood in. So like they subbed out LeBron and put in Reddish, and then we had the lineup of like Reddish, Rui, and then when AD went out, we went with Wood, and then we went and then carried over, and then we had Hayes and Wood with who was I think it was Reddish, Vincent, and Reeves. So I mean they did. I mean I'm pretty sure Wood was brought in like towards the end of the first quarter, but I might be wrong about it. I know Reddish was like the second or third sub, but pretty sure Wood came in right after. Uh, let's see exactly what I'm thinking with that comment. AR and Ginobili role closing games would be, in my opinion. Yeah, that's kind of. I think that's what he should do, but Um, Braun had no free throws, and that's all I'm going to say, which is crazy. Um, let's see. I feel like Reeves leading the pack off the bench, like he didn't last year, is what should happen. He also did for Team USA in the summer league. I do too. I really do. I just think you'd have so much. I think you just have so much better of a balance, right? Like because again, like I said, you could go with like Prince, Vando. So now you upgrade defensively. You still have the same level of 3-point shooting. You don't have the playmaking, but you have D'Lo and LeBron, which are more than enough. And now you got like just better perimeter defense. Like I do. Like I wouldn't hate that at all. Um, and the play to continue EFX. They need another big. If we can't defend them in transition, at least make it harder for them to score. Yeah, I would love that. I'd love another big. I'm really hoping Miles Turner becomes available. Love how I love Rui, but if you don't step it up, very tradable. Although I think Rob would rather trade D'Lo. Yeah. Like I said, I'm not going to jump on Rui too much, but we need him to be better. Lakers when he gets the Magic for sure. Do you think the Heat will retire LeBron jersey or the Lakers as it stands when he calls it quits? I think both teams will end up retiring. I think he'll get retired by the Cavs, Heat, and the Lakers because he won chips with all three of them. But anyway, I'm gonna wrap this up. I got to the end of the chat. I appreciate you all so very much for being here. I'm gonna start setting up and getting videos ready for tomorrow and stuff. But yeah, not the greatest game, not exactly what we wanted, but hey, you win some, you lose some. It's the first game of the season. I'm not gonna overreact to one game, but no, it would be nice to get this win. I really want a Lakers Celtics finals, Lakers in 5. But it's come back. This is a big here. Appreciate you, Jason. But anyway, I'm gonna get on out of here. You guys are awesome, and I will see you guys Thursday for the Suns game. Check out the watch along, and then after the watch along, we'll do the post game stream here. Let's go get that win. But yeah, hit the like button, hit that subscribe button on your way out. You guys are beautiful. See you all.